just increase the price of Xbox dev kits. Not just the upfront cost. They're literally basically making it where if you are a indie studio, if you are a small mom and pop team, there is literally zero reason to ever put a game on Xbox.
Because you know what I find funny? Now, mind you, if you're a developer and you cannot afford $500 for a dev kit, then maybe you shouldn't be making video games in the first place. But my point still stands. Do you guys realize that PlayStation charged $2,500 for a PS4 dev kit back in the days, and yet we heard no complaints? That is still far more expensive than what Microsoft did with $1,500 going to $2,000. Now, mind you, I don't really think this really matters to gamers. If anything, this is more of a developer problem, and I do think that, you know, obviously Ubisoft and the established ones, they get theirs rendered off like, hey, here's, we know you're a trusted partner, yada, yada. But I find it so funny that you guys are out here defending indie companies, but yet the vast majority of the indie games that be coming out from PlayStation as well as Xbox happen to be garbage. I'm sorry, man. I'm not saying every indie game is bad, but what I don't get is the fact that you people ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites. This is still far cheaper than what Sony charged back in 2013 for $2,500. And I'm going to prove that in this video. Like, I get it. You guys want to find every single thing to push out this negative Xbox news. We all get it. But I mean, it's getting to the point, man, where you people don't even have an argument anymore.
If you're wondering why it seems like everybody is skipping Xbox, it's stuff like this. But let's take a look at the exact amounts and honestly, the reactions. Because immediately, it feels like Reddit, Twitter, everybody is saying, okay, Xbox, do you genuinely hate game developers as much as you seem to hate gamers?
Well, if they did, then explain why Sony charged $2,500 for a PS4 dev kit, and that was back in 2013. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, most people be saying, well, you know, more technology, we got to upkeep the cost. You know, that was, 12 years ago, things have gone up. I mean, including eggs and milk, Dreamcast guy. You should know better, Mr. Combo Meal himself, Mr. Biggie Bag, right? You should know better than that, Mr. Dollar Menu Gamer over here, and you out here complaining about something going up. Like, I get it. My point is this, though. That's not the problem. My point is the hypocrisy. You guys go as far as say, oh, the poor indies ain't gonna be able to make game for the little old Xbox, but yet Sony was charging $2,500 back in the days on the PS4. It ain't none of you people was saying about the poor indie games on my precious PlayStation. Ain't none of y'all was saying this.
Let's talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could, please, as dev kits are actually very, very strong. They also have all these important debugging tools, extra USB ports.
So, because it's more expensive to make, therefore is the reason as to why the dev kit is more expensive. What are we doing here? What are we doing, man? And if you're a developer and you can't afford $500 additional dollars, right? So you can continue to make this shovelware that I see on Xbox and PlayStation as well as the Nintendo Switch, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Because I honestly think most indie developers are just going to take it and be like, all right, we'll pay $500. We're making more than enough money here anyway. I mean, we already know the Ubisoft, the EAs, they already get their dev kits loaned to them. Like I said, it's really not that much of an issue with the way you guys are making it seem. That's just what I'm saying, but okay.
Systems are not optional. They make game development not just better and easier, they're essential. This is not an option. If you're going to make an Xbox game, you have to have the dev kit.
Yeah, and you need a dev kit to make games on PlayStation. You need a dev kit to make games on Nintendo Switch. That's why third-party developers like Nintendo, where's our dev kits? You know, weren't we partnered with you with the Switch 1? Why are you making it so difficult for us to get them with the Switch 2?
Raising the price is outlandishly stupid, you know?
Well, if this is outlandishly stupid, then you would also have to agree that what PlayStation did with PS4 for indies and them charging $2,500, which we're going to prove at the end of this video, so you make sure you guys still stay tuned watching it, then why did Sony charge $2,500 back in 2013? And we ain't even dealing with inflation yet.
I talk a lot about the PlayStation 4 generation. I do think the PlayStation 4...
Oh, really? That's good, because when I get to that point, hopefully you keep that same energy. We understand that some dev kits cost more than others due to the technology that they add to them. But my point is this, though. It's the hypocrisy. Because if this is expensive to y'all, then y'all gonna look back at PS4 and be like, well, was that considered expensive back then? It's actually more expensive than what Microsoft is doing. They just decided to put an extra $500 to it.
Generation, maybe the generation I've had the most fun. It felt like we had the most RPGs, the most groundbreaking indies, and part of that came down to the fact that, did you know, Sony at that time was actually giving people free dev kits?
No, they started doing that with the PS5, but people that are partnered with them, like a Rockstar, Take-Two, they weren't just giving them to any indie. You're crazy, man. Oh yeah, let me get a dev kit so I can start pumping out jumping fries and jumping skies and jumping guys. Give me a dev kit. I'll sell it for 99 cents and everybody can get a free platinum and out here looking like King Thrash with trash platinums. Yeah, let me get that. I can make some good money doing that. Oh no, that's not how it works, buddy. At the end of the day, Sony, whoever, has to agree, because anybody could do that. I could be pumping out shovelware no different than the Atari 2600 and selling them game for 99 cents. Well, which is, if you guys notice, is a problem now. If you notice, it is a huge problem that we've seen in the gaming community, where you got people getting dev kits, pumping out shovelware for all these platforms.
At that time, Sony was actually, they would do stuff like they'd go to like a game jam where indie developers were pitching projects and they'd say, hey, your game is interesting, it's not quite finished, we want it on PlayStation. Here is a dev kit that would normally be, $1,000. Here's
because it was $2,500. Oh, wait till I get to that point, man. See, the funny thing is with these dudes, you cannot fearmonger me, because unlike you fools, I do the proper research. I look into things. I don't just sit there and watch your video and automatically believe you, considering that you're always very disingenuous in everything you bring up to people's attention. When you watch a Dreamcast guy's video, you got to do the proper research yourself. We only watch your channel to laugh at you because it's embarrassing. And we just love shutting you down, because every time you make a video like this, we already know what you ponies are doing. We already know what you're doing. So
free dev kit, so you're incentivized to put it on PlayStation. I do think stuff like that is a big reason why the PS4 had thousands and thousands of games, and a lot of them were actually good. Let me just look at the reactions to this. Look at this. Why the hell would working with Xbox seems to be such a pain? Nobody buys games on Xbox. Subscriptions of Game Pass are absolutely in the toilet. They're at a point where it's like, man, it's just not worth our investment to get zero money back, right? Look at this. I mean, they used to be Look at this. I mean, they used to be $10,000 a long time ago. I think Sony was $20,000 monstrosity.
Oh, PlayStation is dead. Oh, they used to be $20,000 and y'all out here complaining about $2,000, and that was back then. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody was complaining about this stuff back then. So you're not going to get people to going, oh yeah, Xbox, I don't like you because you charged $500 for something that Sony did $20,000 back then. At the end of the day, I'm worried about the games. That's all I'm concerned about. And like I said, Ninja Gaiden 4 after Chapter 3 has been playing. It's been feeling kind of fire right now. Definitely better than that Ghost of Yote garbage that y'all had to pay for.
At one point, it was that GFC era where they started to bring prices down. So some people are basically saying, okay, there used to be ridiculously expensive dev kits. I feel like I don't like this sentiment. This sentiment
you don't
almost
like
feels
it?
like it's trying to minimize how much this is going to screw over developers. Like, oh.
No. It has a lot to do with the fact that you people ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, and you guys only want to complain about stuff when it applies to Xbox.
Yes, the price is going back up, but it's not as high as it used to be. You're basically just saying, great, I'm glad I'm being screwed less. I want to take a look over here at Reddit. This is like a copy and paste. This is by Tom Warren. Tom Warren has great leaks, good stuff, but this is more units. But if you're at that point, you're probably a relatively large studio. So this to me almost conveys the fact that more of Microsoft's greed. They're trying to basically screw the really, really big companies. Square Enix, Take-Two, working on stuff
How you going to screw those companies when they make far more money than $2,000 a day? They probably get that from one of their consumers buying freaking Fortnite skins. What are you talking about, bro? $500? Oh, they're trying to screw them. How can you screw them? They got more money than anybody. I thought you said it was about screwing over the indies.
GTA 6. I guess they're trying to be like, all right, for the people that are buying 20, 30, 100 dev kits, we can get an extra 33% of profit for them trying to make games for us. Just outlandishly stupid. Oh, okay. The Titanic's lights burn in. At this point, the amount of games skipping Xbox, it's more and more uncertain if a game will ever come to Xbox. Ever, right? This is so stupid. I genuinely do not understand the tactic whatsoever. This seems so obsessively self-destructive. It truly feels like there is no good outcome.
Of course it's not, because that's all you people do is look for negativity. PlayStation had one that was $20,000 back then. Ain't nobody complaining about it. So why we complain about this? Like I said, at the end of the day, if they added more technology to it, the $500 increase, so what? And if you are complaining about $500, then clearly ain't nobody buying your games, and you shouldn't be making games in the first place. But that's not what we want to touch up on. My whole thing is the hypocrisy. So let's get to that point so we can end this whole arrangement right here. What are we doing here, man? You see how you people complain? What are y'all complaining about, man? If you guys are complaining about what Xbox is doing with the 1500 to 2000, then you gotta have to explain as to why during the PS4 it was 2500 going to 4000. Now, mind you, I'm not acting as if this is a problem, because I personally don't care. My point is the fact that you people are being very disingenuous, trying to push all this Xbox hate propaganda, but yet when PlayStation do it, oh, it's okay. It's fine. That is still far cheaper than what Microsoft did with their dev kit, and ain't nobody complain about this. So why do you want people to complain about something that yours is actually more expensive? But okay. Unbelievable. Oh, but everybody anti-consumer. This was an article of 2013. That's why I tell people do your research. Development sources who say that the PS4 dev kit costs about $2,500, which is $2,000 more than the Xbox One. Xbox One developers also pay a fee to Microsoft, a few $100s. Are you serious, bro? $2,000. Now, mind you, this is not that big of a deal. All I'm saying is that during this generation, PlayStation was charging $2,000 more, still more expensive than what Microsoft got with the Series S and X. And ain't nobody complain about no poor old indies not making games for my precious Xbox and PlayStation. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You know, games is the truth of YouTube. This is what we do. Like I said, man, you know, this is crazy. Okay, this article is from 2013. Oh, but they went back in time and re-edited it, you know, to make everybody look better. All right, you know what, bro? We done. Like I said, man, we all tired of these fanboy takes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, take care.